You're listening to Blind Chats with the Backroad Chicks.
Welcome to the Late Night Cruise.
The Late Night Cruise.
We're your hosts,
Courtney
and Brienne. Buckle in.
It's going to be a wild ride.
Uh-huh.
Clickety click click.
Yeah, what was that?
That was the mic on my zipper.
Oh, I thought it was... And we're back.
It could be. We are back.
We're recording. Hi.
Hi. We are back. Hi.
3-3, episode 3 of season 3.
That's correct. You are correct. Are you sure?
Maybe I lied.
You're lied. We're on episode 4.
Oh yeah, I'm back and
in the saddle.
I am.
I think she's tired, folks.
I gotta get back into the DeLorean. I went too far back in time.
She's
I can numbers.
You can numbers. What's with your memory?
I don't know.
It's kind of creeping me out.
I know. It's not great.
No.
I'm gonna blame it on Aunt Flo.
Okay.
Because I just don't care right
We blame
now.
everything on Aunt Flo. She can take the rap for everything.
She is a nasty, fickle mistress.
She truly is.
She makes me not hungry and tired. I was up till 5:30 in the morning last night.
My gosh.
I know, that's not me.
No? Well, I mean, it is you.
Not really. I was on such a great... yeah, well, usually I'm waking up at 5:30. Now I'm like, time for bed at 5. Ugh. I miss going to bed at 9 like a grandma. It was nice.
Oh my gosh.
Felt good.
You know you're an adult when you look forward to going to bed. You look forward to getting into bed before midnight.
Oh my gosh. You're like, do you want to go out? It's like 8 o'clock. I'm like, ugh. What's wrong with you? I don't want to go at the best of times. Never mind after sunset. You crazy? It's 8 o'clock. Meanwhile, back in the day, the bars, you wouldn't go there till like 11.
Party, right?
Party on Wayne.
Party on Garth.
Did that further age us?
It might have.
Oopsie.
You know what? No, that could just mean that we're fans. Okay?
That's true.
I'm a movie buff.
You are. I am not. You already killed me. Jenny.
Jenny, oh
Why
my God.
don't you love me?
See, I told you I was never going to live this down.
No, you aren't. You scarred me for life. That movie was so sad.
You'll forget about it eventually.
Yeah, right. Courtney. Why did you tell me to watch that?
Because you need more classics in your life.
Not sad ones that will depress me further.
Oh my gosh.
That was traumatizing. You lost everything.
Then don't watch Titanic.
Yeah, I did. I'd rather watch in reverse. It's my magical ship that saves people. Look at that ship go. Just saved all these people from the ocean.
Well, we're starting off on a major tangent.
Yeah, how we do.
How we do.
What are we talking about today?
Tell
the people.
We're going to talk about equality in the workplace.
And inequality.
And inequality. And inclusivity.
And the hypocrisy of all of it. Or potential.
Because everybody loves a toxic workplace, am I right?
Oh, it's so great.
Yep.
It's so awesome, especially when you work for the Manitoba government. No shade.
I don't even think,
if you look up nepotism in the dictionary, you will see the Manitoba Buffalo Bison logo right there. Just saying.
Oh boy.
Facts hurt. Just don't, put me in jail and fine me under fake Bill C-9 we're trying to pass.
Okay.
Freedom of speech is no longer a thing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Cardi. So much for equality. And I digress.
We digress.
Yeah, workplaces.
This is why we don't talk politics, because sometimes we'd have a difference of opinion.
It's okay to be wrong.
Yes, it is. Anyways, we digress.
If you're not left, you're right.
Oh.
Dun-dun-dun-cha.
Okay.
Okay, that was the last one.
Okay, you're cut off.
I had too much wonton soup.
Wonton. Oh, it was so good though.
It really was. That was a wonton soup. We should say that for a gem.
Oh, I'm not above shouting them out. Komodo Chinese restaurant on McLeod.
That wonton soup was good.
Holy crap, that's so good.
It had flavor.
And their beef and broccoli is out of this world. Just saying.
Cannot comment, haven't had.
No, you will.
Maybe. That wonton though.
Perfect wonton to broth ratio.
So good.
And very flavorful.
Probably a lot of MSG.
Probably.
Which is toxic. Which brings us back to our topic. See how I segue us back?
Yep.
Just gotta grab the squirrel by the tail. No, for real though, there's been a lot of intrigue of mine on workplace functioning, because I find it's not even just with workplaces or just government, but it seems like there's a lot of preach inclusivity and inequality. But when it comes to actually enacting it, it seems to be very hypocritical.
Absolutely.
All the frickin' time.
In so many different ways, not just in terms, like, because I mean, I'm thinking of, obviously, your situation might be different, but my immediate thought jumps to the mental health aspect.
Well, I just think in general, like the preaching the values of being inclusive and equal, but it's only inclusive and equal if you fall in line with the belief systems of the managers or the owners. But if you fall outside of that, then all of a sudden equality and inclusivity no longer matters. So if you have atheists as bosses, but you're a Christian, suddenly you're, whether it's intentional or not, frowned upon or looked down upon or judged. And like move out of the clique based on, I've seen that and had that happen based on religious principles, or if you don't have the same political views.
I mean, I could see, like using Christianity as a specific example, but it could, it could go in terms of any religion. You're right. That's true. I have seen that.
And here's the thing that really chaps my ass, which I've experienced live and in Technicolor, or, by 2026, it's live and in 4K, is the fact, and this is not even a joke. So, and this is where there's no equality, or they take inclusivity too far, but then it's like reverse discrimination.
Which is fun. You gotta love that.
Right? So the example I'm referring to is a Muslim employee. That's fine. You can speak English, you can comprehend, you can do your job, that's cool. But your religious requirements are during the daytime at work, you have to have 4 to 5, depending on your hours, shifts, 4 to 5 prayer sessions in that day of at least 10 minutes each time. You have to have a quiet, uninterrupted spot where you get on the floor, and depending on the time of day, you have to face a certain direction, like east or west, depending on the rules of that time of day for your prayer. And it switches all the time.
Okay.
Now, under protected grounds, they're allowed to do that.
Right.
But if you needed time off as a Christian, or time off on, say, an Easter Monday, or a Good Friday in places that don't honor those, you don't get that. But this person can have, let's just, for easy math, let's say it's 10 minutes 4 times a day. We'll go to the least amount.
Okay.
That's 40 minutes of time away from your desk minimum over every day.
Yeah.
I don't even want to do the math on how much that is a month, but you won't give a Christian employee off one day on a protected ground without pay penalty? How is that inclusive and equal? It's not.
You're right.
You're right. It's things like that absolutely disgust me. And I'm against smoking from previous episodes.
Yep.
I'm not about that, but I will even defend smokers here in the sense that they want to go outside to have a quick smoke break.
Yep.
But they're not allowed to do that, and that's their
break
choice.
Time.
Yeah. They can't do that, but these other individuals are given other leeway to do that.
That's interesting. I've never come up against, I guess in that particular faith, it's very stringent and very, what's the word I'm looking for? Rigid.
Yeah.
Rigid and
totally.
like you have to do it at the same time every day. You have to do certain things at certain times. So it's a little bit less forgiving.
Yeah.
In terms of hours in the day. That is really interesting though, because as not a whole lot of other faiths, I guess, really have that.
Well, exactly. And what if somebody for medical reasons, because I've seen this get denied, someone for medical reasons needs a standing work desk, for example, or needs to get up and move around, walk their body around so they don't get locked up or seized. But they're told they're slacking and need to be at their desk. But then you have people for religious purposes who get different accommodations made for them, but a person with a physical disability, for example, doesn't get the same respect. How is that inclusivity?
So the effort to be more inclusive and diverse is, in fact, swinging the pendulum too far.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Or it only applies to certain people. There within the equality, there is discrimination. So then it's not the true definition of equality and inclusivity.
That's true.
It's inequality and exclusivity and selective inclusiveness.
That's very true, actually. I cannot disagree with you on that.
Or then there's a combination, so a fun one that, again, so you have a disability where you require home care, which I do. You require home care and other needs, and you have to rely on medical transport to do that. And then that doesn't get accommodated, even though that's a law.
Yep.
For example.
Yep.
However, other things can get accommodated, like somebody moves away and they can work remotely full time. and there's no disability there.
Yep.
So how is that inclusivity and equality if sanctions and accommodations can be made for someone moving for a non-medical reason for a choice, but a person with an actual disability can't get 2 days out of 5 working from home to accommodate their health needs? Is that inclusivity?
That's ridiculous.
I think that's a human rights complaint.
Absolutely. I would agree with you on that one.
So it blows my mind. And then it's inclusion, but then there's cliques.
Oh yeah, like toxic work groups. Well, everybody's had those.
Oh yeah, and if you don't fit into those parameters, you're on the outside.
You're on the outside.
You're looked down upon, and sometimes these employees and managers are related, especially in the government. I found that nepotism is huge.
Okay, fair enough. I have seen the dynamic between manager and subordinate be different. I'm using that word lightly to be very politically correct and not get myself in trouble. Typically, you would think like conflict of interest, right? Yes. You would think like don't put a supervisor with their subordinate if there is any kind of familial relationship, if there's romantic relationship, if there's any kind of, it just makes sense. Yep. You don't do that.
And oftentimes that subordinate gets treated much differently with a lot more leeway or accommodation, whether it's a sibling, a sister, a brother, a niece, a nephew, or whatever kind of relative, a partner, a child.
Do you find, okay, here's a question. Do you find that person in the position of being the subordinate, do you find that their coworkers treat them differently in a negative way?
Oh, great question. So from experience, what I found is usually that person ends up being the ringleader of the clique. So it seems that everyone surrounds that person and wants to be on the in-ground, of that person and like worship, never make that person mad, always please that person, be best friends with that person because that person's protected, and then it spreads. And then the managers or the owners or whatever don't go after those people in the in-crowd. But as soon as if you have conflict with that person or you have a difference of opinion or you're on the outside of that clique, you're targeted.
Or if you have, and then that becomes, what if new management comes in? What if that kind of thing? I mean, I know in my experience, I had a job where I worked with fabulous people. I got along great with my supervisors, and I kind of learned, I tried to get my fingers in as many pies as I possibly could. I wanted to learn everything. Totally. I wanted to know how to do everything so that I could be helpful and I could be available. I know much to my detriment, because after a few years, I started to burn out because it kind of, the supervisor that I had stepped down, and trying to get a new supervisor didn't exactly go great.
Okay.
We had a few that were real pieces of work, and they didn't last.
Yeah, that'll happen.
They didn't last because A, they couldn't hack the job. B, they were just like, I'm pretty sure we had like a sexual harassment claim filed against one of them by another employee.
Oh,
yeah, like
memory trigger. Yeah, okay.
It was not good. It was not good. So, but the one that ended up getting hired and ended up staying got a very broken in version of me. They got a very confident, comfortable version of me, but also one that was like, okay, like now that I've been doing this for so long, it's become an expectation, and now it's not in my job description.
Right.
But because I've been doing it for so long, I'm burning out now and I'm getting really tired. And they basically told me that their first year on the job, I got a subpar performance review. Oh. And I was told that I was not getting a big raise. Because I wasn't the superstar I could be.
I so want to pull at this thread after for a few reasons. Oh my gosh. Keep going.
Yeah. So and that was the thing, like, I knew my job really well. I was very good at my job, and I wasn't a slacker. I have never been a slacker in my life.
Oh, you're speaking my language.
And I did the job of like 2 or 3 people at one point, and they're like, oh, well, you can just go do this, or, oh, you can go do that. And you're like, okay, like, not getting a paycheck for that.
Right.
I had to do someone's job. Because in one particular case, another staff member had been let go, I took over their job in the interim until they hired somebody else. So not only was I doing my own job, I was doing his job. And then I had to train the new guy who came in.
Of course, yeah, and there's never an extra compensation for that.
No, but leading to burnout, then I'm not the superstar I could be because I'm so exhausted, mentally, physically, emotionally, all of that. You're like, okay, like that's really nice, thanks. And I'm positive that it was because this guy's a sexist asshole.
It could absolutely. Yeah. That has happened.
For whatever reason, he had it out for me. He didn't like me, and I have no idea why, because I was nothing but nice to him. I tried to be friendly and I tried to get along. He's a decent guy. He's a decent person.
Is he though, if he does that kind of stuff?
I don't know. He seemed like he was really nice.
A lot of people do. And you think you could trust them and you're close with them and they stab you in the back.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is, I think that's the thing that disappoints me the most about workplaces is you go in with this really optimistic light and you think really highly of the company and everybody and it seems great at first. And then the true colors of something come out.
Yes.
And I wanted to pull at that thread when you mentioned that working really hard.
Yes.
And overperforming. So I completely agree with that. And I think sometimes that comes to bite you in the ass.
Absolutely it does.
Because I'm the same way. I'm fast. I learn quick. I don't like to be bored. I like to go. And in a few instances, I know that that's upset. So in one job in particular, I got promoted so many, like really, really quickly. And it made other people mad.
Yep.
So by working hard, because that was my pace and I enjoyed it and enjoyed learning, I got a target put on my back because people that were there longer were upset and mad. And then they came at me and then whatever, the toxicity in between the managers because the manager was related to that person that was upset.
Yep.
So of course now you get outcasted and they drove me up the wall until I quit. Like I actually had to go, I had several reports put in on harassment claims and had to go on leave. And there was a bunch of other people that had left that unit within the Manitoba government and they had moved on because of that same reason and nobody did anything about it.
Wow.
But in that particular department, there was so much nepotism. It was tons and tons of mother-daughters and like, what are those, like aunt and niece?
Oh, yep.
That was a huge problem.
Yep.
And there was a lot of people, the turnover there was crazy. By the time, like when I had started, there was a whole different new set of people by the next year.
That's insane.
And I was warned when I got there, like, well, if you can make it, then you can make it. I'm like, oh, I'm going to make it. And then a few years later, I'm like, yeah, I'm done with this.
Definitely, while getting into it with fresh eyes, you're like, okay, like I can tackle anything.
Yeah.
You feel like you're strong. You feel like you're emotionally capable. You feel like you can handle anything. And it's like water against a cliff. Like it just beats you down eventually. It wears you down and it erodes any confidence that you have in your ability to do it.
Well, and then I can relate to you too. It's like you're asked to take on these extra tasks. So you want to be a team player. And that's what I did more recently. Like I would take on extra work, be that team player, never saw compensation, but then new people come in and get paid like way more than you do. And then you're upset. You're like, well, I make the same qualifications. I've been here longer.
Yep.
And then you start pulling back to defend yourself and not take on all these extra tasks.
Yep.
Especially because not the new person, but I had a colleague who was deliberately not doing her job. Who is delegating things, who was known for being a slacker by management, and management just directly said to me, yes, we know we've had problems with her. Yes, I know she's a slacker. Yes, I know she doesn't do her job. Why do I need to do my job and take on extra responsibility, not be recognized for it, have perfect performance reviews with no complaints, customers love me, but I'm slowing down and taking on less because I'm getting delegated her slack and her tasks, plus taking on more. And on top of that, I had other people taking credit for my ideas.
Yep.
And it was, I defended myself and they clearly didn't like it. And I was basically told, shut up or get out.
Yep.
Let's be honest, that was the tone of it. And it's like, and again, so it's like, where is the equality in there? Where is the ethical performance in there and the equity? There is none. Different people are allowed to perform at different levels and different people have different expectations. And that particular person couldn't be touched because it's a relative of one of them, like management.
Yep.
So that person doesn't get in trouble, but the person that tries to stand up for themselves or bring to light what's going on gets penalized.
Absolutely.
And multiple people before me had quit the position I was in and complained about the same thing. And management had asked, like, well, why didn't you tell us this was going on? And everybody was too scared to step up. Is that a safe and healthy work environment where you're respected as an employee and when there's inclusivity and you want the feedback, but then when you hear it, because then I'm the I don't want to call myself a whistleblower. I was just like the spokesperson on behalf of all the people before me and some of the current people.
You get labeled a problem child.
I was.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started to be treated that way. I'm like, I'm just trying to tell you what I'm observing and what collectively we are saying, experiencing in this role over time, but you don't like it. So because I fall outside of what you want or what your belief system is or what you're preaching, I'm outcasted.
Yep.
That's not equity. That's not inclusivity. That's not morals. That's not ethical.
They just want yes men. They want
They
people
do.
who will just be in place and do the job and not ask any questions.
Exactly. So
Which is fine, but then you get what you get.
Well, that's exactly
Like-
right. And you're not going to get hardworking employees now.
And that's
You're going to get the gossip crew that's a clique, and they say yes, but then they sit there trashing management and the owners behind their back. And they do it all the time.
and
I
that's
have
another thing. Like
tons of threads of it.
the flip side of that is, okay, is that just us being millennials and getting labeled as lazy because we don't want to go above and beyond? Because the mentality of
I won't even subscribe to those labels because I do not classify as a millennial. I'm like right on the edge of being whatever generation came before that.
yeah.
But it's like, I've always been I've been working since I was 14. So there's no entitlement, I don't think, with a lot of our generation. I just think there's a lot of people with no backbone. Like, I've worked with managers that won't stand up for themselves when they deserve raises, or they deserve more vacation, or they deserve to be treated better, and they just won't. Because they're scared to stand up for themselves because of those reasons.
Well, I agree. I think it is definitely a don't rock the boat situation.
Mm-hmm.
But is that because too many people have rocked the boat and the repercussions are everybody's like, okay, well, we just don't want to deal with this. Like, we'll just get rid of them.
Yeah, and I think that
or is it
could be both.
Is it a group, like, because if you're thinking about old school, if you're thinking about the generations, even just a couple generations back, the work ethic between then and now is so different. It is so different. Our generation and those younger than us don't have a work ethic.
I disagree. I wouldn't label everyone the same. There's a lot of people in our generation that have a great work ethic. I would say most people around our age have a great work ethic.
Maybe our age, maybe, well, I'd say like within 10 years of us.
Yeah, the younger ones. It's definitely decreased. It's definitely changed.
There's everybody's entitled. Everybody gets a prize for competing. Like, you don't, the standard of you're here to work every day, you're here to do your job, and you're here to be a team player, you're here to contribute, is not the same as it was 10 years ago.
No, but then what happened 10 years ago, or 20 or 30 or 40 years ago in the older generation? So if you want to preach the equality, inequality, and that stuff, so back then they would argue women had no rights and they got paid less than men, which was a huge thing. But the women wouldn't stand up for themselves or say anything and would be perceived as boat rockers. But then I challenge it. Is it really rocking the boat? Or is it people are finally standing up to the hypocrisy, to the preaching of equality, and all of those things that aren't actually being implemented?
That's my question.
Yeah, are they finally bringing light to it?
No, but that's kind of where I'm going with that. Was that the start of a movement that has now, and I say this often, gone too far in the other direction?
Mm-hmm.
Is it those people who are entitled assholes that really shouldn't be rocking the boat because y'all don't do enough to make a difference? Y'all don't contribute enough to warrant the extra paycheck. You don't do that. Like,
They're the hypocrites on the other side.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting at.
Yep.
Is there?
That makes sense.
It's a double standard.
Episode 5, season 1.
We love those.
Oh, they're my favorite.
We love those.
They make me so happy.
The problem is, I don't really see, there's no real way to solve it.
I think there absolutely is. I think there's way too much power at the top. Way too much power at the top and not enough at the bottom, because when there is equality or people have autonomy or sense of agency, purpose, contribution, there's more satisfaction. But when you're not treated like that, or you're micromanaged, or you're nitpicked, or you're made to feel lesser than, or your ideas don't matter, those kind of behaviors lessen the morale.
Absolutely.
And it's just the top dictating. And I would say 90% at the top, you don't deal with the frontline work. What's actually happening. So you don't even know what people need as an end user of your service or your product or whatever it is, but you're seeing their barking orders. I'm going to throw Transit Plus, aka Transit Minus, under the bus for this one. Because when you look,
thank you.
I was on the news, so yeah, right? Like, it ain't no thing. It's no secret. But you have people at the top managers, political leaders of transit and infrastructure, whatever, saying to the drivers what the drivers need and what their route should be. You truly don't know what efficiency is and what the needs are. Maybe you should listen to your drivers more and have more respect for them. Your turnover would be
all
less.
about the money.
Right?
Yep.
And it's like there's no, when there is no sense of equality or there's no sense of value to you and you're just a number or you're not being compensated for what you're worth, but the padding's all at the top and then here the double standard. Oh, they can work from home. They can take week-long vacations. They don't have to be in the office when you have to be in the office. The rules are changed for them, but they make 3 times the amount you do, but you work harder and pick up more projects.
Yep.
Gee, I wonder why this happens. And I think we're now just, it's unfortunate. I agree with you where there's going to be some jerks that just want to have that ego and the entitlement. Yes. Yep. But then there's the genuine people who are actually finally standing up for themselves because they're seeing this happen are the ones that get shit on.
This is very true.
It's like the ass kissers go the furthest, the yes men.
Yes, they do.
And then the jerks and egotistical people just either they don't care or they'll just leave and quit and whatever, or get fired. And then there's the middlemen that seem to take the biggest hit.
Now, are you seeing this? Okay, I just had this thought.
Ooh, okay.
Are you seeing this as someone who, in terms of doing your job, in terms of doing the service, like, you're coming through at this through the lens of there's a job that has to be done.
Yeah, and I want to
get the job done. Yeah, I don't want to be.
Yeah, I'm like efficiency, innovation, expansion, like improvement. Like, let's do this. Like teamwork, collaboration. The customer's always right. Serve the. I grew up with that. The customer's always right. Serve the customer.
Yes.
Do good by people.
Yep.
Be authentic and genuine. All these things. These are my values. But when you're not treated that way.
No.
And the company preaches these things but doesn't actually enact it or discriminates against the people who do enact it, then they end up it collapses.
Yeah.
And I've seen a lot of companies, like how you said management overturning. I see a lot of companies that start out that way and they're fabulous.
Yeah.
But then they shift or new people come in and then it's all about like money, profit, sales, cutting jobs, cut positions, but keep management here. Or like, because there's been times, specifically I'm thinking like a decade back, I'm going to give them shouts by first name only because they were fabulous. Lorraine and Janet were amazing. I love them. I love them. I love them. I love them so much. Oh, I just see Janet's face. She's so funny. And and then unfortunately, after I got hired, they retired.
Oh no.
And then the new lady that came in hired one of her daughters, 2 of her daughter's best friends.
Oh wow.
And then 2 of her daughter's friends, cousins. I don't know. It was crazy. And then she started picking on people and getting them to quit to bring her daughter's friends in instead. And then it became this entire field and department full of her and her daughter's friends and family.
Gross.
And it was atrocious. And it got to the point where we had to overhaul a system. I feel like I'm talking too much.
No, keep going. I'm enjoying this.
I just can't stand hypocrisy and inequity in the workplace. It's disgusting. And there's often nothing you can do because it's the people at the top that call the shots. And if you don't like it, they'll throw you out or they'll force you out the door.
I love the pyramid of the the one bird on top.
Totally.
And on every level, there's just more shit. There's more shit. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
So what happened was we didn't overhaul We did an overhaul of our printing of the vital record certificates.
Okay.
And they needed to do certified copies, and none of them could figure out how to print them on our new paper. So I went in there, being younger and techier, no shade at them, they just weren't aware, and figured out a way to create a system that made an alignment and actually printed them like they needed.
Nice.
So they put me in charge of that and training everybody, which I did, and then they wanted me to create this manual, and I made it super layman terms, like to the point where for the people in their 60s that weren't super tech friendly, I would take screenshots of the little floppy disks and icons and tell them what the buttons were, like a full-on crazy manual.
Made an SOP. Oh yeah.
Yes.
I've done that.
Yep. Done the whole SOP.
Totally done that.
Did that, trained everybody, put that in there, and then I started getting targeted and targeted and targeted and targeted and targeted and targeted. After working super hard, I'm like, what is going on? And then it got to the point where I couldn't take it anymore. I was there for about almost 5 years, and I loved it. I loved a lot of my colleagues. It was great. We got along well. I love the old managers, but that one manager kept picking on me and harassing me. I ended up quitting. And then what did she do? She hired one of her daughter's friends.
Ay.
Which was inevitably the plan. So it's like they get you to the point of training everyone with your knowledge and then getting rid of you. Because now you're like a knowledge threat too.
Well, they do that, and they often do that. Like, I know a few friends of mine have literally trained their replacements.
Right, yeah.
Unknowingly.
Oh, yeah. It's like you're not allowed to work too little or you get written up and fired.
Yep.
But you're not allowed to work too much either because you're seen as an overachiever or a threat to management. They don't want you to go higher than
Or
them.
a teacher's pet.
Right?
Oh,
so it's like you can't be an overachiever, you can't be an underachiever, you have to be some middle yes man, and that goes against the values of authenticity.
Yep, I agree.
That goes against the performance and what you're preaching. You want efficiency, that you want a team player. How is that you're not supporting your own values? There's so much hypocrisy, and it's
always
toxic.
about that bottom line. It's
Always.
always about that dollar. It's always about the almighty dollar, and it's going to get you every time. There is no way around it.
Nope.
Greed is the almighty.
And it's unfortunate because there's been a lot of places that I've worked at that have been really good.
Yeah.
And I'll say there was a select few that are very like, let's be about the people. Let's try and give people autonomy. Let's try to give people power. Let's be inclusive. But it seems to always come down to, we want these things within our definition.
Yeah.
And if you provide them outside of their definition, then you're outcasted.
And especially in modern work times now, like there's a lot of remote work happening.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to overturn that for a lot of people.
Yep.
Overturning remote work, being like, yeah, we need to bring you back into the office because that's where like collaboration happens. You're like, no.
No, and it's funny, and I brought that up. I'm like, there was an instance where the internet had gone down now for the third time at one of my offices.
Oof.
And I was working remote, and they asked me if I could make sure to be on top of emails and calls and all that stuff. And I was able to, and I was actually working while nobody else was because I was remote.
Funny, isn't that?
So sometimes,
oh man.
Yeah, and I'm like, why? Like, I can understand people that slack and don't get their job done.
Right.
But when you're seeing my emails go down, when you're seeing my work tasks and the actioned items being completed, and you're seeing all that, the phone calls are getting answered, the stuff's getting done that needs to get done, the accounting's taken care of, why is that a problem all of a sudden when it hasn't been for how many years?
Because they see your team status. They're like, oh, are you in a meeting?
We don't even use that.
No, we do. We do. And like, oh, you've been away for 5 minutes. Where did you go? You're like, I had to pee. Okay.
Yet if you're in the office and you can like, oh, that God, I love that. But you're in the office and the cliques can be like standing in the corner at the water cooler for like an hour talking while you're busting your butt in the office. And then you get up once to talk to someone for like 10 minutes to take a break.
And it's like, oh,
and you're in trouble.
Yep, totally.
That's Absolutely. What I mean about the inequality. I'm like, if you're on the outside of that clique, you're not allowed to do what the clique does.
No.
But the funny thing is that clique falls within the middle, like the yes men that don't want to underperform or overperform. They fall in the middle. But the interesting thing is they hang outside of the office together.
Yes.
And they sit there bashing management and the owners all together at the same time.
Yeah, it's true. They really do.
Every single time. But they'll play dumb like they don't. And then they'll want you to be the scapegoat spokesperson to bring up all the problems. And then you get targeted as the problem, which happened to me. So a lesson learned, don't stand up for people anymore. Get them to make their own decisions. And then I started doing that.
Yeah.
And then those people were mad at me because I wasn't just standing up for them anymore.
I know. Like you're damned if you do and damned if you don't. You're like, I want to be here. I want to contribute and I want to help. And most of the time that means me over contributing. That means me giving lots more than I'm probably capable of most days.
But now answer this for me, because I'm the same way. I love working. I love achieving. I love progress. But when you start to feel undervalued and underappreciated and underpaid, like none of your love languages, workplace appropriate, are being met, do you still keep up with that performance? Because that's when I stop. Because I'm like, this doesn't feel good anymore. I don't feel valued by the company or my managers.
I feel like it goes on for a little while. Yep. But yes, eventually because you burn out. Yep. You get to the point where you're just, you can't handle the workload mentally or physically. Like you can't sustain that forever. And nor should you.
Have you brought it, like in past experiences, have you brought it up to your managers? Because I have, and it's never really met with understanding and more of, now we have to watch you because we don't like your attitude.
That is exactly how that happened in that position that I was talking about, the not being the superstar I could be. That's exactly how that went down. I was like 5 years into the job and I had learned everything that I could possibly learn to the point where I had gone and trained in other things to come back and train my own people.
Right. Yes.
And teach people how to use systems and teach people how to do things, and to come back and just be like, no, you can't. And then the conversation that I had was, this is stressing me out. I'm burning out. I'm having some serious anxiety. I'm having some depression, to the point where I was in tears talking to this supervisor.
Yep.
And I basically got the brush off.
Right? Either suck it up or leave.
Pretty much.
Yeah, 100%.
So I left.
Yep.
I got that it was totally a God thing, because I had a fantastic opportunity that came by.
Good.
And it was jump in with both feet, and it was the biggest risk I've ever taken in my life, and it was the best thing I could have possibly done.
And for those workplaces, sometimes they genuinely lose their superstars. They
do.
Absolutely lose
Sure
their
they do.
superstars, but it's like, then stop taking people for granted and maybe sit down and listen to them with a lens of seeking to understand, rather than being defensive.
Yep.
And defending your company, thinking it's perfect, thinking your choices are perfect, thinking you have this big ego and you know what you're doing. No, maybe listen, because there's something to learn from everybody.
And the people that are still there, like, I still know people that work there, superstars, incredible, absolutely incredible people. They will never find people like that again.
Yeah.
So don't lose them.
Yeah.
Because you have no idea how valuable they are.
Absolutely. Now, what would you say with those people in particular? Why are they holding on?
I think it's a comfort thing. I think it's fear of change.
Are they happy?
Possibly. I know one person who also pursued something else and basically dialed back their commitment to this other place, and life is complicated. Okay. There are things that happen in life that you have no control over. So right now it's extra. It's the little bit that's that extra on top of the regular paycheck. It's not a life sustaining job.
Right.
For another, it's their career. They've been there for decades, and it is absolutely a comfort thing. I'm not sure if it's a not sure that they can do anything else. I'm not 100% sure what their mentality is on that, but workaholic.
I have heard that with some people that are like close to retirement age, and they're just in the position, and they've admitted to me, like, I'm not happy here, but there's no sense of doing anything about it because nothing will ever change, and I don't have that many years left, so I might as well stick it out. But they've admitted to like going wandering and going on other job interviews, and some of these are managers that have actually done that, and they're not happy either, but they feel that they have no power or say, so it's almost like learned helplessness, and it's really sad. And I'm not,
it's like Stockholm syndrome.
It is
totally.
And I was always that person that I would just sit there, I would say nothing, I would take it my whole life, and then I'm like, this isn't right.
No, it really isn't.
And then I became an advocate, and now I stand up for myself and others, but apparently people don't like that very much. Even though you're not,
you're labeled a problem child.
Yeah, totally. It's totally. So I know I don't fit in all the time places. But it's like, I'm sorry that you want honesty as a value, but when honesty is brought to you, even if it's brought in a professional way, laid out on paper, you're still not actually abiding by that.
No.
And I just wonder why, but if that same feedback comes from the golden workplace child, then it's seen with open arms and honesty and not as a problem child. So I don't know what your opinion is on this, but where do you think that inequality comes from, and that like discrimination and nepotism and all that nonsense, and why the exact same feedback is received differently, even if it's presented similarly from the golden child versus the problem child or versus other employees?
That's a great question. I think that it could be one of those once burned, twice shy arguments could be made. I think maybe greed obviously has a big part to play. There's no doubt. There's no doubt that they want to get as much bang for their buck.
Yes.
I also think that the mentality of whoever is in the managerial position or the supervisory position will dictate that. It will dictate the environment.
That's true. And that's true, because I have seen, if it's like a multi-managerial system and different departments or sectors have different managers. Some of those managers are fabulous. But that doesn't mean it's your manager. And sometimes you don't get the good one that's open. But I have seen places where different sectors have fabulous managers who are open, and I rather approach them or talk to them, but I'm not allowed to.
Totally.
Which I don't think is okay, because if you're going to have a more, like a better, a conversation that's more conducive to the goal, that's going to have both sides heard, it's going to be equitable and fair and respectful and create positive progress, why wouldn't you want to work with that person you can work with, rather than being shamed by somebody with an ego that doesn't want to hear you?
Because then it's like, well, you're just tattling.
Oh, but you're not even there to tattle. You're just there to talk about the issues because you want them fixed, or you want to be heard.
Of course. That's just not, that is not how it's perceived.
Of course it's not. It's ego.
It's exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Yeah. And if there's more than one supervisor or manager in place that you can report to, and you find that you have a better rapport with one more than the other,
then the other one gets butthurt and is mad.
Yep.
And then you're more targeted because they think you're going against them, but that's not the case. It's because they're not doing what you need them to do or treating you how you need to be treated.
And in some cases, it's because their hands are tied. Sometimes it's not their call, it's higher up.
That too.
That happens a lot. Everything you're kind of siloed and everything is on a pyramid.
It's true.
Right?
Or I had one time a fabulous manager. Well, I loved her in the end. Don't really think that she had my best interest at heart, even though I had hers at heart, but a fabulous manager. And the reason I stopped going to her directly and went to the person above her is because anytime I would go to her, she would go to the person above her anyway, but she wouldn't write down what I was saying. And it was like playing telephone. She would relay my message in a way that almost sometimes made me look bad.
Yep.
Even though it might not have been her intention, she didn't present what I said as poised or eloquent or respectful as I did, then it made me look bad. I'm like, that's not fair.
No.
So I started going directly around her, and then she perceived that as me no longer trusting her or respecting her. But I'm like, look, you're not writing down what I'm saying properly because I just had you repeat it back to me. And that's not even what I said. So even when you're taking notes, you're not taking notes the way I'm saying it. And that's not fair.
I agree.
And I think a lot of time people at the bottom are undervalued, or it's made to be presented as if we're equal or inclusive or that we have a say. But in the end, we don't. They're just putting on that front to get our feedback, but they're not actually hearing it or acknowledging or implementing it. They're doing it as a facade.
I totally agree. And you're going to have boat rockers.
Absolutely.
Okay. I know a few myself.
Mm-hmm.
I know a few people that are just like, oh, you speak and I'm cringing.
Right. Yeah. Yep.
Because
totally.
I know exactly what's going on in your head, and because I've seen you do it before. Like you just want to rile everybody up.
Yep, there is those people.
Absolutely, there are those people.
And then there's those, it's like the clique leader who knows they can't be harmed. They'll gossip and they'll start rumors, or they'll tell you something like benefits another employee's getting that you're not to get you riled up, and then you're still the problem child, even though that person's going around spilling everyone's business or rooting through people's personal files and spreading the fire, so to speak, but they're untouchable.
Well, I've had someone who actually tried to get me to say something to defend something that had nothing to do with me.
Same.
I've also had that person, it was the same person, came and said, well, they're going to come after you for this. Like, you need to fight.
Yes.
And you're like,
yes.
No, I don't. I'm fine right now. I'm doing my job. I don't have anything to worry about. If there was a concern, I do believe that my supervisor would tell me that.
Yep. And I had to put that, the same person that I'm referring to that's part of the clique leader, that's a relative, is the same person that would do the same. She would complain about stuff, complain about management, complain about the person she was related to, complain about ownership, and then ask me to fight or me to bring things to the attention, and then tell on me for complaining, or like say that, that I'm just causing problems. I'm like, I have it in writing here. All the things that you just finished saying. And I defend you. I kept it secret. I didn't throw it under the bus. I didn't rat you out. And here you are betraying me, essentially, or trying to make me out to be bad. It's so crazy to me. I've seen that same thing happen. It's very frustrating.
And this particular person is a boat rocker, and it's like they have a target on their back. Absolutely. Because they are a problem child. They do make a lot of mess. They do make a lot of stink, and they make it known that they don't like things, and they make their opinions very vocal.
And now, is it similar? So we're referring to obviously two different people. We're at very different places. But in your scenario, so in my scenario, that same person, the clique one, the relative, all that fun stuff, also was known to be the slacker, was known by management to do that, continuously takes time off, or doesn't want to show up at the office, or has to do this for their family member. It's nonstop. And they don't have to show up on time. They'll show up late, or they'll forget to show up, or they'll sleep in, whatever the excuse is, and nothing ever happens. But you have it happen to you like 2 times. Oh, you know what? You should really try to be on time. I'm like, I was 6 minutes late because of public transit, because it was slippery in the winter. I'm sorry. I've been here early every day. And in fact, manager, you're late every single day. So the fact that you're saying this to me, where is the equality and understanding? Because it seems to be selective.
The person that I'm referring to she's a shit disturber.
This one is a low-key shit disturber, yep. But not seen that way.
But like, it's almost like she'll call people out for not doing certain items in the workflow, and then she'll reserve them as if to be like, haha, look what I can do.
Oh, yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. So she's kind of irritating, and she like cold called me one day, like full stop, like phoned me and said, well, because both of us have a similar work arrangement in terms of teleworking and remote work. She's like, they're going to try and take this away from you. She's like, they're going to do this, they're going to do that, they're going to push back on this, they're going to push back on that. She's like, you need to fight. You need to say something. You need to bring it. You got to bring it up before they say something.
Oh boy.
And I was like, no. I did have a chat with my supervisor about it because my supervisor is fabulous and we get along famously. Mm-hmm. But I brought it up to him and I was said, like, just so you know, this person is trying to rock the boat and start shit. And I said, just so you're aware, I was like, I am not by no means tattling. I was like, this doesn't leave this meeting, but I wanted you to know that I was aware that this is happening.
Yep.
I'm not pursuing anything. I will not be saying something outside of this meeting. So just so you know, the conversation didn't affect me the way she wanted it to.
And see, interesting you say that. So it's totally dependent on company manager and all that stuff. Cause in the situation I was in, when I brought it up to my manager and just let her know, like, because I was loyal to my manager.
Yes.
But I also am not going to throw somebody in the bus. So
correct.
My managers all wanted to know, well, who was that person and what they say? I'm like, respectfully, I'm not going to say who it was because I don't want them to get in trouble. Mm-hmm. I don't want to put a target on their back. I don't want to be a telltale. I'm just bringing it to your attention because these are my concerns. This is why I'm feeling treated unfairly. I'm like, I was given the physical, tangible proof of what this person was saying. I was like, so I just want to have a conversation about it and plead my case. But after I brought it to their attention, I'm the terrible person. I'm the shit disturber. I have a target on my back. I should essentially sit down, shut up, and not speak. That person remained untouched, and I never did give out that person's name until way later at the end after I was like, hey, I'm washing my hands of this because...
See, that's really fun. He didn't even ask. He already knew who I was talking about.
Yes, but the funny thing is, after when I revealed it like over a year later, when it didn't matter anymore, the manager's like, oh yeah, I figured that was that person. That person's known for this. And I should have done that. And that doesn't surprise me. And that's what I thought it was. Oh, but they're still the golden child and I'm the bad child.
Yep.
But I was honest with you. I've been transparent. I gave them the benefit of the doubt. I protected them because you don't want drama or gossip in the workplace. I came to you like you want me to. I brought it to your attention. I tried to have a conversation, but all guns are pointed at me.
Mm-hmm. It's just like, mental health awareness in the workplace too. They always like they're advocating and they're preaching, oh, well, we worry about your mental health. We're worried about you. Like, here's some resources. Here's your thing. But it's just like, you know what? Sometimes you just need a mental health day.
Right. But get out of our face because you're sick and there's something wrong with you. And we don't need that bullshit here because it's affecting our business.
Yeah.
Because I've seen that too. And it's ironic sometimes. It's like, you're going to say that, but you're really out for your business. But when my performance isn't affecting customers, which is the main thing,
right?
I'm still getting ragged on. I'm coming to work just because you see my face physically, but the customers don't see it and customers still ask for me and enjoy talking to me. And I can put on the happy act to talk to the customers and do my job.
Yep.
Why does it matter what my face looks like? Because now you're discriminating because you don't like my facial expression, the fact that I'm depressed and struggling.
Yep.
But if I was working remotely, I would still be getting the job done and you had no idea. So then it comes down to, if the world was blind, this wouldn't be a problem. So you're discriminating on me based on what I look like.
It's the very definition of not practicing what they preach.
Exactly.
Yep.
And that's not equality or inclusivity or ethical. It's discrimination and a human rights violation.
I completely agree.
And it's sick because it happens so often, whether they want to admit it or not. That is what it is. And I wonder what the solution is, because I'm wondering, what are your thoughts on solutions? If there was, I don't want to say it's like suggestion buckets from both managers and employees. Mm-hmm. So managers could put their concerns in anonymously and their questions.
Yep.
And employees could do the same. And there's no way to know. And then everyone sits down together in a public area and pulls every piece out of the hat and do a big sharing circle and speak to each point and take notes. No one will know if it's an employee. No one will know if it's a manager. No one will know where it came from. But it becomes an open discussion and everything's out on the table. Nothing's off limits. I think that would be a great idea.
Because then you could be specific about your actual workplace.
Yes.
Yeah, that's actually really good.
because I can't think of what else there is, because that way everybody's heard and nobody knows who it's coming from or where.
That being said, you are going to have people, like for perfect example, you are going to have people that absolutely would prefer to be in the office rather than remotely working.
Yeah, and you can't inflict that on them, because some managers are like, well, I don't like working from home because I'm not tech savvy and I don't like the internet and I don't like being alone.
You're like, okay, you do you, boo.
Great, but if my performance isn't affecting us and I'm still meeting with you virtually and getting jobs done and sometimes saving the day from home, you should be happy. And I log in on long weekends when you guys have dropped the ball on something, and I'm always the one to step up and be there on a long weekend, remotely.
If my ability, like if I don't have to commute for an hour every day to get into and out of the office, if I'm not wasting my gas, if I'm not wasting money on parking, if all I'm doing is sitting there trying to justify your real estate by being in the office, that's not good enough.
I agree. And especially when it comes to a protective status, like for my disability.
Yes.
Sometimes my Transit Plus rides don't show up, or they'll lie and say they show up and didn't. And my teams of people I've worked with and doctors and whatever have seen this happen. And they're aware of this. Sometimes my rides have left me there for hours. Sometimes I'll have to leave my home at like 6:30 in the morning and I won't get home till 8 p.m. at night.
Oh my
gosh. Is
gosh.
that fair? No.
Just so they can justify their rent.
Or just so they can justify, well, we want people physically there. Okay, but why? Because it doesn't apply to people who don't live there, or doesn't apply to managers, or doesn't apply to certain teams.
Because they want to micromanage.
100%.
They want to watch what everybody's doing. It's Alibo control.
And I'm like, okay, then put a GoPro on my head and log into my little webcam and sit there or stalk my teams, because if you want to do that, you want to follow my keystrokes, you go right ahead.
Yeah.
Follow me, stalk me, watch me, do whatever you want. Yeah. My work gets done. You've seen it. Because sometimes I sit there and my inbox has been empty for hours and my manager's is still full.
Yeah.
So you can't ever question my performance.
There's something to be said about being treated like an adult.
Yes.
Too. I get it. There are people that are...
They'll abuse the system.
Abusing the system. Absolutely.
But then when you catch wind of that, then penalize them and deal with it. Don't
deal with that.
Be assumptive.
Don't assume that everybody is trying to screw the pooch.
Exactly. And if you're wondering why someone's performance has shifted, inquire.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, I was doing a bunch of extra tasks. Why did I stop? Because it wasn't equal anymore. And the people of my lateral level within my team decided to, hump the dog, so to speak. Yep. So I thought, that's not fair. I'm going to slow down and keep up with their pace, because apparently that's the appropriate pace. But no, I'm a bad guy for that. So, right?
Totally.
I've totally had that happen.
Absolutely.
Again, inequality, unethical, hypocrisy, double standards, nepotism, favoritism.
Mm-hmm. All very relevant.
Not really sure how we solve that, but...
I don't know if there is a one-stop solution.
I don't know either. I just wish there was a way that managers could be held accountable too.
I agree.
And that shit disturbers were actually found out and not treated like golden children.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure how to do that.
I don't know either. Maybe one day we'll figure it out.
Maybe that's why there's unions. But I also feel like those protect slackers. Because that happens too.
That's true.
They're good and bad.
They're both... Yes, yeah. Totally.
I feel like there's no answer. There's just too many people have too much power.
I agree.
That's really all I have to say about that. I want to hear, what do our people have to say?
Yeah, folks, tell us what you think.
Please, because we say this all the time, but not many of you give us your honest feedback or responses. And there's YouTube comments for that. Give us your comments. Does Spotify let you comment?
Yep.
Yeah, comment. Please, tell us.
Please.
Give us your insights and your thoughts, because unlike toxic workplaces, we want to know.
We're big girls. We can handle tough comments.
Exactly. And if we can't, we'll just get a, what's that thing? A magic eraser.
Yeah.
And wash it away.
Right?
Or Scrub Daddy. Wasn't that your thing?
Oh, I love Scrub Daddy.
We'll just scrub that stain right off.
Yes, buddy.
Oh, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Episode 4.
Until next time.
Gem Unit.
Oh my gosh. I'm going to write a theme song.
Gem Unit.
I like it.
Grateful every moment.
Welcome back, folks, to another gem.
Shiny
gems. We've got a few. I've got a big one.
Oh, I like big gems.
Uh-huh. Well, you already know what it is.
Do I?
Of course you do. You were there.
No, I wasn't.
Allegedly, folks.
What is your gem?
I had the wool pulled over my eyes. I had the rug yanked right out from under me.
Was it also maybe announced in the same evening?
It might have been.
Podcast, and you didn't pick up on the cues of maniacal things?
Sure didn't. Sure didn't.
Why don't you tell us all about your gem?
Oh my gosh. So, as y'all know, last time we recorded a gem was February the 4th. Turns out that very day was one for the books. We sat here after, and somebody, who shall remain Brie, said, I feel like cake. Let's go to Baked Expectations. And I said, okay. To which she responded, what? No argument? I said, no, I'm feeling like cheesecake.
That bus that you just threw me under really hurt.
So we drive. I take a minute to text my wonderful boyfriend and say, we have made a bad impromptu decision. We're going to go get some cake. We're going to Baked Expectations.
Darn those impulses.
And he says, oh, well, I haven't been there in an age. So anyways, we drive down to Baked Expectations on Osborne. If you know, you know, right? So we we had to go around a couple of times because there was no parking because it's Baked Expectations. Like,
Facts.
Let's be honest, folks. Oh my gosh.
That's when I started sweating. I had to tell Ricardo shilly-shally that we were spinning the block. Thanks, Ricardo.
Thank you, Ricardo. So we walk in the door, arm in arm, as usual. And who's sitting there?
Ricardo!
Ricardo!
Who is?
My wonderful boyfriend, Brent. Aww.
I changed his name on Messenger in case it popped up and she accidentally saw it. So it wasn't, in fact, Ricardo.
He was, he has an evening, typically an evening of every week that he does where he kind of like gets his housework done and he does his own thing and he kind of has a night off from the world. So that was this particular night. So I knew, or thought I knew, that I wasn't going to see him that night. So Brie and I were out recording. That's kind of what we do. So walking in the restaurant and seeing him sitting there with a smile on his face was not what I was expecting.
Neither was I.
So we sat down, we grabbed some cake, and she said, okay, I think we're ready to go. And I was like, where are we going? And he said, well, I got to get home somehow. Apparently he had walked to the restaurant. So we went back to his place, and I found out that he had broken into my house. Not really.
Smooth criminal.
Not really. He has a key.
That's true. Yes. Well played, Brent. I loved it.
He walked into my disaster area of a house because I had cleaned my fridge out that day. So my house was, it was bad, folks.
NTM.
Yeah. So he walked in, and I actually have the screenshots from my security camera that caught him walking into my house.
I totally freaked him out when I told him there might be security cameras on.
I love you, baby. I'm sorry. I've deleted the photos. I promise. So, so we ended up going back to his place, and I found we play Commander. So we've built our own. I say we built. He built. He built a Commander deck for me.
Why don't you tell people what Commander is?
Oh, Commander is Magic the Gathering.
Cards for nerds.
It's cards for nerds, yes. We are huge Magic nerds. Brent is the king of Magic nerds. So
Brent and Courtney, I'm a noob. I'm like, huh? What? Math?
Yeah. So we have been playing one-on-one. He built me a deck for Christmas based on something that we play online. So it's wonderful, and it pops, and it works so well. If I learn how to play it properly one day, maybe it'll be better. But I digress. He had gone into my house and picked up the Commander cards that I was supposed to have left at his place the night before.
Yeah, we had to pivot.
Yeah, because I took them home because I was building. We had bought new cards, and I was building a new deck. So
you distracted him.
I'm sorry. I didn't know the plan.
You had one job, Brent. One job.
So he had gone into my house, grabbed my cards, and brought them back to his place. And then our other friend, through Brent's friend, and now mine, Jareth, showed up with pizza. So we sat and played Commander, and I got a wonderfully expensive Magic card. Thank you, Marianne.
You're welcome. Shiny.
So it turned out to be a wonderful little impromptu, well, not impromptu for me, very well planned by you, surprise party for me, because...
that meat cooler was good.
Oh my gosh. She tells me that she has to go to the butcher, okay? So she needed to borrow a cooler from my mother. So here we are. We're sitting in the car with a cooler in the back seat. I am none the wiser. Turns out my present was in it. And
there was no meat.
There was no meat.
But I'd been setting her up for weeks, telling her I had to go get meat, which wasn't untrue. I just didn't then. And it was really funny watching her after we finished the podcast recording, looking up all the butcher shops, going, oh my gosh, they're all closed at 6.
And it was like 5 to 6.
And I had already known this, so I was like, yes, perfect. I can make an excuse not to go to the butcher.
Oh my gosh.
It was flawless.
Because I was trying to look for one.
I know,
like,
it was fantastic.
So that was like such a delightful evening, and you know, for Brent to take the day that he usually takes to spend with me and have friends and games and cake. And then on my actual birthday, I got to spend time with them again because I went to my mom and Lynn's with you, and she called Brent, and Brent brought his little man. And
she isn't your mom. I didn't know that.
No, you didn't know that.
No, I only knew half an hour before.
So the reason we did it early was because Brent has his little man on the weekends, so he wouldn't have been able to basically dedicate any time to play games or anything like that because little man would be running around and we'd entertain, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he ended up bringing him for dinner to my mom's, and we spent the whole evening together. So all in all, it was such a wonderful, wonderful birthday this year, as it was last year. You guys are on a roll.
I just can't keep up with the expectation. There's too much pressure.
Oh my gosh! There are no expectations.
The first year's never going to be able to be topped. I think it's a self-performance expectation, like a perfectionistic expectation.
Okay.
I mean, pulling the wool over your eyes always gets my rocks off.
That's easy, apparently. Like, I'm clueless, man.
But you know what's funnier is that you haven't picked up on the pattern, so I can't do it next year.
What do you mean?
Well, this isn't the first year that I lured you somewhere under the guise of I wanted chocolate cake. Because I did that last year when I wanted to go to Across the Board and suggested let's go there because the chocolate cake was really good.
Holy crap.
Things you just learned in the moment with us for 500 Javette.
Boy, I am dense.
So I can't use the cake one next year, you'll know.
This is Bree's Gym. Courtney's dense.
Oh, I love maniacal planning and all the hints I dropped during last episode about the mischief. And
I know you did.
I know.
Oh my
gosh. Just this big Cheshire cat grin across my face.
It's so true, and I saw that, and I didn't pick up on it.
I know. Cake twice, Courtney.
2 cakes.
2 cakes. 2 years. So I can't do that next year. But this year we threw you off extra because it was purposely not on the date because it was like a joint thing birthday.
Yes.
So next year, I don't know what I'm going to come up with, but it can't be cake related. But that's okay because I think that's my favorite part. But then I hate having to wait for like a month. So when the plotting finally pays off, I'm like, is it your birthday yet? Is it your birthday yet? Yeah.
I know the waiting is the worst part. You're like, I want to do it. I want to do it now.
Is.
Can we do it every day? Can we?
So my gem is pulling off surprises, and I'm grateful for my pastor and his wife. Both pastors. Two pastors. They are the most beautiful, wholesome, wonderful, loving people who truly... Right, I'm flicking my lid. I'm sorry. Sorry, y'all, getting fidgety. I'm flicking my lid. She just like lifts my paw. I'm like, oh, right. Background noises. Oops.
We do mean a literal lid. Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
It's a Timmy's lid.
My water cup lid. Grab the flap.
We're having way too much fun.
But anyway, I digress.
Sorry,
my pastor and his wife, they're so great, and they love the Lord, and they love their congregation and the people and preaching the gospel, and they're so good. And I want to give a happy early anniversary shout out to them.
Nice.
On February 17th, and I'm just blessed to have them in my life, trying to help me stay on a straight path and straight and narrow. And I just want to say thank you, and I'm grateful for you.
Because you need some guidance.
Yes, good orderly direction. God, Jody.
Oh. That's kind of cool.
Gem God.
I've never heard that.
Grateful every moment for good orderly direction.
Good orderly direction. That's cool. I'm going to use that.
Excellent. That's my mic drop moment. That's all I got.
I mean, we're already at 10 minutes here, so we can't really go. I could go on forever. I got lots of stuff to be thankful for.
On a roll again.
So.
But what are your gems? What are you grateful for today?
I'm thankful for you.
Aw, thankful for you.
Thankful for my mom and Lynn and Jim and Marion.
Nice.
And Brent.
Oh, yes, all the people.
And little man, whose name I won't mention.
Oh, so cute.
Little buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Just everybody that takes time out of their lives. Everybody that takes a moment, every person that takes a moment to appreciate, Roxanne. everybody that just...
Both of them.
Yeah.
Both Roxannes.
Everybody that shows you a little love every once in a while.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can't say enough amazing things about that woman. At nothing. There's not a single negative thing I can say. She's just such a beautiful soul. An earth angel. So thank you. Thank you, Roxanne.
Thank you, everybody. We love you.
Beep.
You're listening to Blind Chats with the Backroad Chicks. Thanks for joining our late night cruise.
For help keeping your drive alive, please tune in next week for more shenanigans.